Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for current events in the online fitness community. And I had a follower say, hey, for current events, could you look into Fergus Crawley? He's a hybrid athlete who does a wide variety of sports. The guy's all around awesome, but he's also talked about his own struggles with depression, attempted suicide, things like that. Could you just check him out? I think you might like this guy. And I did go check him out. I looked at some of the stuff. The guy's doing some awesome stuff physically. The fact that the guy did a, 500 deadlift followed by a 5K back to back and did it all in 20 minutes, that's pretty cool. Right? Things like that are pretty cool. Like, I think that's solid. That's what, we should be looking at. Are we all around athletes? It's kind of something I touched on in that podcast the other day, something I was promoting for a while and have drifted away from, but reminded that I've discussed that a lot in the past. I think that's important, that we be well-rounded athletes as possible. And I think it's a good idea, and it's something I'm trying to work back towards even now at 46, about to be 47. But the thing that really got me, I went over and watched this guy's video on masculinity. And I'll be honest, I didn't watch the entire thing. I watched about half of it. And I think this is stuff that, I've tried to delve into. I've done on some Facebook Lives, delved into, even with talking with Ariel Ziegler about healthy masculinity. And a lot of times that stuff comes up and then people try to throw me over into that whole manosphere thing. And it's really not my scene. I'm not really big into all that or the red pill thing or any of that. It's just not, I don't think that's the way, guys. I don't think that's the way. It's just my opinion. It's how I feel about it. And I'm not saying there aren't some elements of that aren't useful, but as a whole, there seems to be a lot of problems there. But I think this young man hit upon some interesting points. And I listened and I understood where he was coming from. He talked about his fact that he was so driven when younger to be this perfect man that it ended up, driving him to attempted suicide. Okay, this is a big deal, and I think this is something that we do have to talk about with men's health, our mental health. Our mental health has been neglected. And you look at suicide rates, where's the suicide rates? In men, it's just astronomically high. Okay? Astronomically high. And it's not always even in the poorest demographics. It's, in hardworking men. Men who are manly men, and it's because we've been given this idea of sometimes what masculinity is and what manhood is that doesn't always take into account our health. And I do agree with Fergus, and I think he hit something there. There are some very valuable things in traditional views of masculinity. The idea that men should be providers, that men should be mentors, men should be protectors. Okay, these are good things. If you want a healthy, functioning society, of course these are the things that men need to be. Right? We need to uplift our community around us. We need to take care of others. We need to be willing to protect other people. Right? We have to be doing these things. That's a healthy aspect of masculinity. That is the healthy end of it. When men are healthy and functioning and they look after their community, they look after their loved ones. Okay? They don't hurt the weak. They don't take advantage of people. They're not predatory. Right? They're strong and they're confident. Now, here's where we run into problems. When we take that strong and confident, and this is the thing we're seeing pushed, unfortunately, the other way. When we take strong and confident and then take that to mean, well, we need to be assholes. We need to be misogynists. Well, now here we got a problem. And that's some of the problem I'm seeing with some of the manosphere. Or another big problem. We have to be so strong all the time that we don't take care of ourselves. Okay, and that's a big point of where this young man ran into problems, and I think he sees that he couldn't take the time to take care of himself, to do his own housekeeping, in his own mind, his own emotions. We have to bottle all that stuff up. We can't express ourselves because we have to be strong all the time for everyone around us. Okay. There's where you're seeing the depression, you're seeing the suicide, you see the coping with alcohol, coping with drugs, trying to find that escape when we can't live up to that impossible standard. And then we don't take the time to take care of ourselves. Now, I do like the fact he addressed that lifting and running and those things are part of his therapy. That's been the case for me. I mean, the barbell has been therapeutic for me, but I want to make this caveat. It's still a coping mechanism, and as he said, it's short-lived. It's all good until something breaks. Hey, what happens when that's your only coping mechanism? Then you become an exercise addict, and we start breaking. I get that too. I get people all the time with programming who are like, well, I need to train 6 days a week because it's my therapy. I'm like, well, once you're strong, you have no business lifting 6 days a week. You're going to break. You don't need to be training that much. Stuff starts breaking, stuff starts tearing. Then you rip something off the bone. Now you can't do your therapy. Well, then you're really a mess. Okay? It can be part of it. But there's a point, man, where other self-care has to be there. Sometimes real therapy has to be there. I've had to do it. Okay? I've had to do it, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. I've gone through therapy more than once in my adult life. I've had to. You know what? There's no shame in that, guys. It doesn't make you less of a man. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you less masculine. To get some therapy, to get some help. Okay, it doesn't. The ability to express your feelings. Yeah. You can still be strong. You can still be a leader. You can still be a role model. Still express your feelings. Ask for help when you need it. Okay, and that's kind of the take home I took from that. And so it's like all of this young man's accomplishments aside, and he's a pretty good athlete. And I like the message he's putting out there of being a multifaceted athlete. But man, that other message is powerful. The other message is powerful. Guys, we can't live up to that perfect. That we have to be this perfect alpha male all the time. 'Cause we're human beings, man. We're human beings. And there comes a point where that's an impossible standard. Right? You got to find balance in these things. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.